Next to me is a Mark 8 Golf R. We've already taken the Mark 8 GTI to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park development track. Today, let's take the older brother to the Grand Prix track. This car does have a few modifications. For one, has two-way adjustable AGT coilovers. Of course, has a track alignment, has minus 3.5 degree camber in the front, minus 2.5 in the rear, zero toe all around. It does have fluids, it has brake pads, but otherwise this is kind of a mostly OEM plus type Golf R. I'll say it's mostly track prepped, and I think most people would modify it to about this level. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at the big brother of the hot hatches. We'll take it out on track, and at the end, I'll give you my full review. Let's go. Mark 8 Golf R. I'm surprised I haven't driven one of these yet. So engine, start, stop. All right, what's next, Tim?
First things first, we're gonna go into assist and turn off the forward collision.
Okay.
So when you go up 5, it doesn't think you're gonna crash into the ground.
So this is Tim, the owner. He said there's been some issues with the traction control turning back on, right?
It's not fully defeatable. I mean, VW so far has never really let the users ever defeat their stability control. So
yeah, there's still like a little bit of intervention.
Yeah,
right?
it'll tell you everything's off. It'll tell you everything's fine, but you'll feel it.
Gotcha.
And then mode, the fastest mode in this car is drift mode.
Okay.
So once you activate drift mode.
So what does drift mode do? I think it sends more power to the outside rear wheel, right?
It's the most aggressive rear diff setting because its intention is to yaw the car, right? To give you slides.
Exactly, to be able to throttle steer it a bit.
Yeah, Grassroots Motorsports tested that is the fastest mode to do this car in.
Right. Even if we're going for lap times, we go with the drift mode.
Yeah, so now that you have the front collision turned off and the car in drift mode,
okay,
the next thing you do is you have to turn traction control all the way off. So if you do this before you put it into drift mode actually turns it back on and puts it in sport.
Gotcha. So there's that specific order.
Yeah, so you have to do that in that specific order, and then now it's all good.
Gotcha.
Right? So a couple of things: when you watch the bottom of your thumb, that's the button that changes the drive mode.
Okay.
This is the button that heats your steering wheel.
Okay.
And then these, if either of these two come on or turn off, then the cars turn the systems back on.
Gotcha.
So the traction off and the stability control off are the two lights you have to keep an eye on. The second those two come off, the car's just gonna.
Awesome. Here we go. Thanks, Tim.
Right,
appreciate it.
Solo's on. Enjoy. Have fun.
So this car has the TCR replica wheels that I think look absolutely amazing, and the tires for today are actually the Vitor or the Vitor Enzo Tempistas, the 200 treadwear, not to be confused with the Tempesta P1. These are sort of their endurance 200, if you will, comparable to, let's say, like maybe an RS4 or something like that. Definitely not the best of the 200 treadwear, but let's see what we can do, guys. Here we go. Yeah, you see that? Car just wants to rotate. You gotta just get back on the power to pull it straight. Light brake into there. This car is so loose. And then it understeers there. But on power, interesting. I gotta wrap my mind around this thing. Oh yeah, that's wants to just always come out. Doesn't want to rotate in the slow stuff even with trail braking, but wow. Woo. Gotta calibrate my brain a little bit to this. The power is very, very good. I'm surprised. Stock Golf R power. telling me to add washer fluid. Oh yeah. I like this. I like this. You just have to be pretty on the power once it rotates. Vitors are struggling a little bit there. Rotate on entry, on the power, stabilize it. On the brakes, downshift, get the front end in, on power. GT3 RS ahead. Wow, the straight line speed is pretty impressive for a stock vehicle. Yeah, brakes are not good. Let's carry some good speed through there. A little bit of rotation there. Got to manage the front end and the slow stuff. All-wheel drive traction out. And there's the checkered flag. Wow. Very interesting car. It oversteers in some areas, it understeers in others. I don't feel like this car is very balanced for that reason. In the very slow stuff, like it doesn't want to rotate, like for example in turn bottom of 4, turn 5 leading onto the straight, you know, I tried lifting, I tried a little bit of trail braking to have the rear end come around a little bit. It's just plowing a little bit there. But it's some of the higher speed stuff, like it's very adjustable actually, both on the throttle. Like you give it more throttle, it actually feels like it's pushing itself out of the corner. You can kind of throttle steer it a little bit, not like a rear-wheel drive car, but just enough to correct the line. If you lift, the nose also tucks in. I like that. You can feel the diff definitely doing something back there. Like it's, like we said, the drift mode sort of pushes the power to that rear outside wheel to try to push the car out of the corners. I do feel a little bit of intervention, particularly on entry. When I try to get the car to rotate a little bit on entry, you can definitely feel it grab the brakes to correct some of that, even though everything is off. So that's kind of unfortunate, VW. Like, let us turn everything off. Let us turn everything off.
So everyone, we're here at the studio with Two Track Mind, joined by Jason and Shaun. And Shaun actually drove the Mark 8 Golf R with me as well. So why don't we debrief that a little bit? Shaun, what are your thoughts on this car initially? What are your initial thoughts?
Okay, actually, initially the car was driven on the street and also DDT. And the car on the street is so alive.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Right? You put it in drift mode and the car can rotate on power like no hot hatch can. It's actually super entertaining. And actually, Grassroots Motorsports has crowned it to be the fastest hot hatch that they've ever tested. Faster than the Civic Type R. And they found that on the circuit, which I believe they test at the firm, if you put it in drift mode, it is the best way to achieve lap time in that car.
Which is what we did. We put it in that drift mode.
Yeah.
How much power does it throw to the back in that mode?
It's still like Haldex. It's not Haldex anymore. It's a Borg Warner, but it's like up to 50%.
Yeah.
Up to, okay.
So it sends to the back, but it can send 100% of that to one
tire.
wheel.
Yeah.
So the vectors, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you know what? That sensation, Volkswagen has been doing amazing things with their differential. Like on this channel, we drove a Mark 8 GTI, a heavily modified one, but also basically very stock one. You can go check out those reviews. But the differential in that GTI is what makes it really good, right? So we did some funny stuff. We put a ton of rear tire pressure in the GTI to get it to rotate. And, you kind of throw the car in once the rear end comes around. Once it's sort of pointed in the right direction, we just get on the power, and the diff kind of takes care of that, right? So Volkswagen's been doing an amazing thing with their differentials, and it's the same tune with this Golf R. It doesn't really feel like it's very, front driven. You do get this feeling where as you roll on the power, especially with the drift mode, you do feel it send the power to the outside rear wheel, and in such a way that you can throttle steer it a little bit, not like a front engine rear wheel drive car, like an M car, not like big slides, but you do have throttle adjustability to get the car to tighten the line to point the car to where you want it to go.
Yeah, you can totally yaw the car enough to need some counter steer. It's like a ghetto Evo.
Yeah, not big slides, not big slides, but enough to get the car to where you want it to. Of course, it's still all-wheel drive. It's still pulling itself straight as it's carrying a little bit of like that slip angle. But the thing is, with that, I felt like the Golf R, really, it's an on-power car. Because when you're off power, the diffs aren't doing anything, right? You're not sending any torque through the system, so it's not able to, correct itself or pull itself straight. And so I felt like you have to really overslow the car, throw it in, and then just like you want to always get to power.
Because otherwise it feels like a coasting front wheel drive car. Right?
Exactly. It just feels kind of like off power. It's kind of like what is it? The magic is in the diffs, right?
The thing is, off power, it doesn't even feel like a trailing front wheel drive car. It doesn't rotate with drop throttle.
Yeah.
And you took it to GP too.
No, what I mean is like my old. Mark 6.
We don't even want to talk about
with like
Mark
no
6
rotation.
GTI.
You just literally I'm a passenger off power. Just please turn, please turn, please turn, please turn.
So we took it to GP, and what we found was the nannies, even when you request it to be fully off, is not fully off. So what happens is on entry, when you're braking or off throttle or whatever, it actually stabilizes the car. So it stops entry rotation, which that's my driving style. So I didn't enjoy that. And then on exit, actually at speeds above 120, it also comes back in to stabilize the car. So the car behaves very free and even a little bit wild below 120, and above that, it is very locked down.
I see.
Did you find that?
Yeah. But on the nannies, like it says, it controls entry rotation. So the only way that car is going to be any good is overslow a little bit. I'm not saying like go stupid slow, but you can't carry a ton of speed in the entry phase, but you got to slow it down and you got to just lean on the differentials and the power. And the power is pretty good on that car.
The power is very good.
It's very, very, very good, right? And the transmission's also pretty good. I felt like on downshifts it was okay, but on upshifts it was a bit slow.
Kind of slow, yeah.
Did you find that as well?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, compared to, of course, our DCT M2s, like it's
a
big difference. But yeah, like, is there any solution? I think you did some research on the...
Can you flash it
So
out?
no one has figured out how to do it. You can't flash it out. There's nothing you can do in coding. And so what Tim is the owner of the car. And what me and Tim did was we pulled out the ABS fuse.
Yeah.
Let all the lights
That's
turn
all.
on.
That's the way to do
But
it.
then put the ABS fuse back in.
Ooh.
So the lights are still on. But then we tested, ABS still works when you put the fuse back in. But the car thinks nothing works. So the nannies are off. So we got to test this now.
So you just did that, and we haven't tracked.
We
got
gotta
to
take it to GP, but like
we gotta see if that actually
it's magic if it works.
Yeah, I mean, if the car entry rotates,
Yes.
and you can point it in the right direction like early on,
Yes.
and you just rocket chip out and you use the diff, it'll be a crazy car. I mean, if we can put like big sway bar, more rear tire pressure, and defeat these nannies, I think it's gonna be a crazy car.
With Leo's Mark 8, does it not suffer from the same situation?
No.
So Leo's Mark 8 is a GTI.
Well, I understand. But
Yeah, no, I'm just like
GTI doesn't have the same nannies.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We're surprised.
The other interesting thing I remember is like even in the Mark 6, depending on whether it's a Canadian or an American DSG, there's something in the American DSG that they couldn't defeat either a stability control or a traction control that always intervenes, even if you try to fully turn it off.
Right.
And the Canadian ones you could. So I think it got to the point where like if you actually took it down to like compete in like autocross, like sanction autocross, the base, I don't know, like the base performance level for a Canadian one versus a US one is different because of that feature.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's just Volkswagen doing Volkswagen things.
Yeah, exactly. Volkswagen things. Yeah.
But I mean, that makes sense. Like these cars, they need to rotate on entry. The rear end needs to step out. If not, you're just going to be
Waiting.
putting too much steering angle through the front. You're going to be scrubbing the front tires because in these cars, like the front tires steer, they accelerate, they hold lateral G, right? So if you can free up some of that grip to accelerate and the car's pointing in the right direction, then like I said, it's going to be crazy fast. So hopefully we continue to develop the Golf R. We can give some future, I guess, videos to report on our development of it. But I feel the potential.
Yeah,
I feel the
high potential car.
High potential car. Yeah. And also amazing on the street. It's a hatchback.
The thing that always like bothers me with like taking a Golf too far is a lot of the things that are just amazing about the car becomes eroded when you take it to the like full potential on the track. Like, why did you do it to a hatchback? You know what I mean? It's like everybody gets into a GTI or a Golf R who's like, hey man, this is like a one car solution. I love it.
That's why.
Yeah.
And then they throw in the roll hoop and the harness bar and then like super crazy suspension.
That's Kyle and that's
then,
Leo.
Yeah, and then it's
Our
like
two good friends.
it becomes a one seater. They just throw it all, you know, it's
That's
like,
true.
and then you're like, oh yeah, it's a.
But then it's
hatchback.
gangster. You're chasing down Caymans in a Golf.
of
It's
course.
amazing.
And you're launching it off curbs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Shaun, I'll let you wrap this one up. What do you think? Is the Golf R a good buy? Who's this car for? And sort of price range wise, what do you think?
Golf are really good for lower speed tracks for sure. High speed, if we resolve the nanny situation, definitely amazing. As a one car solution, super fun, entertaining to drive in the city, on a circuit, and in autocross, it'd be amazing. I can't say really any bad things about this vehicle.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll check back in at a later time, see how this car continues to develop. Thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below if you have a Golf R, if you've figured out this whole nanny situation. Let us know. But thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.